Please, speak freely. I think that was sarcasm. I think he's like this. He's like, speak freely. You know, if you say the wrong thing, try me, bitch. Exactly. Oh, Henry Lewis, you got a sore throat? I'm so sorry to hear that. You know, this is day something or other of me not smoking anymore. It's been over a month, like a month and a half. And I thought that by now my throat would not be scratchy anymore, but it still is. So I feel your pain. I'm really frustrated about it. Usually, you know, I was like, one of the reasons why I don't want to smoke anymore is that I can, like, you know, not hack up a lung every single morning. We're not there yet. But that's a whole gross other story that we're not trying to talk about right now. But Tusi, the only one so far, I'm sure that Eric Whiteley knows what the hell that thing is. And if he doesn't say it in the blind wave reaction, I'm going to be disappointed. Wow, Cap, thank you. Thank you again. Subscriptions keep them coming. It doesn't get scratchy after smoking. It's more that, like, when you wake up in the morning after having been laying down flat all night, it's all like collecting all this nasty phlegm and stuff in the back of your throat. So when I wake up, it's all, you know, it is getting better, but like, I'm impatient, I guess. I smoked for over a decade and I've only quit for like a month. So I should adjust my expectations, I guess. Yes, Jabba did take his palace from the Omar Monks. The Omar Monks were like a religious sect, and they were humanoid. They looked like regular people, and part of their religious rites on the path towards enlightenment was to remove their brains from their physical bodies to free themselves of like these corporeal distractions kind of thing. It's a very Zen kind of attitude. And then they placed them in these like almost like canopic jars with like embalming fluid, and they have mechanical spider bodies that wander around. And their first appearance is Return of the Jedi, when R2-D2 first rolls through the doors and the palace rolls up, and then 3PO comes in after him. Wait for me! Big ass spider and comes up behind him in the set. When I was a little kid watching that, I thought that the whole set was a miniature, and that somehow a like normal sized spider had just sort of like wandered onto the miniature soundstage. As an adult, I look back and I'm like, that's ridiculous. Why would I think that? But that was still what I thought. And then I picked up the books, and I think it was Tales from Jabba's Palace was the first one that talks about the Omar Monks that I remember anyway. There's a couple different ones where they talk about them. I'm blanking on the title right now, but one of the books, and if anyone out there has read this, it's an expanded universe. It's one of these kind of guys. It starts off with Han, Luke, and Lando, all disguised as Tuskens in a convoy of banthas, and they arrive at the abandoned temple, and they have to they have a whole conversation with several of the monks before they're able to come in. Oh my god, the Ithorian? Yes. Yes. I am a big fan of Ithorians. Can't wait to go to Galaxy's Edge and see Doc Ondar. Katakuri, yes. Bib did hide inside one, and it was freaking disgusting. Thank you for reminding me about that. Oh, God. But yeah, the Ithorian makes me really excited. I really want to go to Galaxy's Edge, and one of the biggest reasons is so that I can take a selfie with Doc Ondar. Captain Warham of Ithor, one of the players in our RPG group on Iceball, he's an Ithorian, and his character is like one of the best things I've ever seen. He's played by Dan, and Dan is like a very advanced player. He's played many times, and he knows the rules inside and out, so as a challenge to himself, he became an Ithorian pacifist, which I think is awesome. He doesn't do any fighting, which makes it like an extra gameplay challenge. Do I think we're going to see Han Solo? I don't know, but let's talk about that. Let's talk about people that might show up. Legend wants Hondo, and I don't disagree. Actually, it makes a lot of sense for Hondo to show up. Star Wars, if anything, these days seems to be like on a quest to eliminate all gray areas and little gaps from the storytelling. Like, everything must be filled in. Because we've got like, you know, that's what I think is going to happen with Boba and the Sarlacc and all of these things that we haven't seen. Like, nothing is going to be left unsaid by the time Disney's done with it. And so Hondo has this big missing area in his resume right now. Post Rebels all the way up to Galaxy's Edge. That's a lot of time to cover. So if it would be a mistake not to put him in here. And put him in the Ahsoka show, because Ahsoka and Hondo already have a prior relationship. So that would be a great place for him to show up. And also in the Andor show, he would be at like the height of his piracy too. So that would be a good time for him to show up. Han Solo, I don't know. Han Solo would be well, I guess it wouldn't be that controversial if they recast him. They could just have Alden Ehrenreich show up. You know, he played him in Solo. Honestly, it would have been a bigger deal if they had cast a young actor to be Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian. I'm glad they didn't go that way. They de-aged Mark Hamill instead. A deepfake? You are talking about Anthony Ingruber. Yeah, Anthony Ingruber. He's the guy who does really good impressions. He has played young Harrison in a couple movies at this point. Yeah, he does a good job. He does a good job of replicating what Harrison would do. I haven't really seen him like bring anything new to the table that isn't also just like an impression. I liked Alden Ehrenreich. I thought that for what it was, he did a really good job. He may not have had like Anthony Ingruber really has the voice down. That's really, I think, what gives him the edge is the voice over anything else. Alden made it his own, and if an actor makes it their own, they're a little bit more believable because they're not trying to be another person. They're just being themselves as a person. It's a hard thing to articulate, but that's, I don't know. If there's a young Han Solo and it's a different actor than Alden Ehrenreich, that would be kind of confusing to have, like, now we've got 3 of them. But at the same time, like, I see what you're saying. You're saying, like, what if they cast him in Solo and therefore he could come back? In which case, yeah, like, that would work. Lego Jules, what would have given you goosebumps in this trailer? You know, like, what could they have added to this? Because I understand what you're saying. It's not like they gave us a huge shocking reveal in the trailer of any kind. That's fine. For me, it was just really exhilarating and exciting to see anything at all because they've been so quiet about it. We really haven't been given nothing. We've been given a poster and a trailer now, but up until now, yeah, so. I agree they don't want... Seeing the Sarlacc? Well, yes. That would be like the ultimate... I think that's what's on everyone's minds, is how did he climb out of there? Are they going to do it like it was in Legends? Is it going to be a new way? And can we goddamn see it, please? I agree with that. That would have absolutely elevated the trailer for me. But even without it, like, I don't know. It seems like a silly thing to say that, like, I'm sold on this. Because, like, I was sold on it before I saw any of it, you know? It's not like you have to pay me to go to the theater. It's like you have to fight me to keep me away from the theater. Or in this case, the living room, because it's D+. But, yeah, do I think we're going to see Bosk? I hope so. I hope we get all of the goddamn bounty hunters back, because Boba Fett isn't just, like, a bounty hunter character. To me, he represents bounty hunting in general, you know? And I know that the first line in this trailer was, "I am not a bounty hunter." But at the same, like, you are the pinnacle, you are the epitome of bounty hunting in the galaxy. He replaced Cad Bane, and now, like, he is what is held up as the symbol. So, the Book of Boba Fett, to me, really means the Book of Bounty Hunters. And maybe I'm wrong in that interpretation, but he is more of, like, a figurehead than just a guy in that profession, to me. Omega, absolutely. Bad Batch connections, War of the Bounty Hunters connections, all of it. So, Omega would be pretty old by now. She would be old enough to be played by someone like Keisha Castle Hughes, who actually already has been in Star Wars. She was the young queen at Padme's funeral, but that's you know, we can recast her. It's been a long time, but at the same time, yeah, Omega could absolutely be in the show, and I think should be in the show, because I think that the creation of her character deserves to I don't want to say escape the Bad Batch, but it deserved to, like, break free of animation storytelling, and be on live action. I think everything needs to be crossing over back and forth. Like, a lot of characters who start off in animation and then make the jump to live action. For me, that's like the ultimate like Star Wars completist rush. You know, you're like, oh, the supplemental materials are now the main material, and it's amazing. Like live action Ahsoka. Like, regardless of how you feel about the actress playing her, the fact that we have a live-action Ahsoka is extremely gratifying. Just seeing them go... We've got an animatronic Hondo, Onaka, and Galaxy's Edge. Dr. Aphra is Ninja Ghost Dragon. Dr. Aphra is the other one that I'm really looking forward to because, like I said about the bounty hunters, if Bosk is in there and all of the rest of them from the bridge, we might also get Black Chrysanthemum, the Wookiee bounty hunter from Aphra. It has been rumored that he might appear in the show, which would be amazing. I don't know how many of you have read War of the Bounty Hunters, the Dr. Aphra, and I think also the Bounty Hunters comic he also shows up in. Black Chrysanthemum is like an enormous black-furred Wookiee. He's taller than Chewbacca. He's a little scarier than Chewbacca, and if we get him in live action, it will be insane. There is like a little a primer on Boba Fett that's going to come out on Disney Plus, and it's going to happen before the actual Book of Boba Fett starts on December 30th. And I'm expecting it to cover a lot of War of the Bounty Hunters content and things that casual audiences might not have seen, because like let's be, wow, man, I'm like stammering. I can't talk this morning. It's a little early for me. But let's face it, a lot of people that are going to be watching Book of Boba Fett will not have read the comics and won't know about the things that happened in War of the Bounty Hunters, which is all canon, or Crimson Reign, which will have come out by that point. And so I think that things from those comics are going to be directly referenced, and they're going to be referenced to the extent that audiences need to be informed of what they are. That's kind of my expectation, is that if we don't get Dr. Aphra, we're going to get Qi'ra. Emilia Clarke is going to be a reveal, I guarantee it. Because she's going to survive Crimson Reign. They're not going to kill her off. And then she's going to be here post-originals duking it out. Especially with what we know about the plot now. We know that it involves other criminal organizations trying to be brought to heel by Boba. Crimson Dawn is definitely a player on that landscape. And they deliberately withheld it from the trailer so that Qi'ra's like appearance there can be a surprise. It can be a big reveal, you know? Just makes sense. Because if we see her in this trailer and we know that, okay, Qi'ra is alive during the Book of Boba Fett, then that takes the stakes out of all of Crimson Reign, which hasn't come out yet. So I understand why they didn't show her, but I bet she's in there. I bet she's in there. Yeah, plot-wise from the trailer, pretty much that Boba wants to take it in a new direction. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. Everyone should get into the Star Wars comics. It's like, once you start reading them, you realize that without them, you're only getting like 60% of the story. It's true. Dark Side Has Cookies is a very good point. It's not the first time that Disney Plus has stepped on their own toes in terms of things that have been established as canon. Not just comics, but books as well. Look at what the Bad Batch did to the Ahsoka novel, or what Clone Wars did to the Ahsoka novel, what Bad Batch did to Kanan the Last Padawan. Like, there's a lot of precedent for that, so it's very possible. But the War of the Bounty Hunters is such a concerted, cohesive, like, crossover event with so many, like, properties involved that I don't think that they're gonna mess with it. Also, the whole thing was written by Charles Soule, and no other writer was allowed to touch it because of what's the word? What's the word? It starts with C. When something continuity. God damn it. My brain is still waking up. But continuity. For continuity's sake, Charles Soule was the only one that was able to write it. So I think that they're going to be leaving the plot well enough alone and directly referencing it in live action. Thank you. Continuity. I got there in the end. I'm working on it. Oh. You know what I think would be a really good idea? Why don't we watch the trailer again? And do a little breakdown this way as well. Alright. Let's pause this, make this full screen. Let's see, I can give this volume a little bit more juice, I think. Cool. Can everybody see this? Let's go. Can you? Yep. Wait. Pause it. You can see the brain. You can see that there is a brain in the tank just jostling around. I love it. Man, it's gotta be uncomfortable though. Like, if you're a brain and you got like nerve endings and everything up in there and you're just like sloshing in a fish tank as your skeleton body goes places, you gotta be pretty freaking enlightened to not be bothered by that. Henry Lewis, I hope so too.
Bounty hunter. I've heard otherwise.
So who's he speaking to? I've heard otherwise. Is it the if it's the Athorian, I'll be disappointed that he's speaking basic like that. Should be a bunch of grunts and clicks with his vocoder on his back. We'll find out. I doubt it's a Mando also, Cap. Yeah, Badfoot the clean paint landed in 5 seconds. Alright, let's see if this is the same voice.
I know that you sit on the throne of your former employer.
You sit on the throne of your former employer. That's what he was saying to Boba Fett, but it almost sounds like Pedro Pascal trying to hide his voice a little bit. It just says Alien 1. Okay, yeah, let me put the subtitles on.
That you sit on the throne of your former employer.
This is absolutely beautiful and might be my favorite urban environment that we've seen since Jeddah in Rogue One, like 2016. Like, this is gorgeous. Insert the Parks and Rec meme of like, I've looked at this for 5 hours now. Like, I could just like zoom in and look at every single building and be like, oh look, there's the apothecary. And there's the market. That's a power generator over there. Do we see anything we recognize? Anything at all? This is easily the biggest city we've seen on Tatooine, if in fact we're still on Tatooine. Hold up, is that the Razor Crest? No. Is that the... Yeah, that is the fucking Razor Crest. How is that possible? My guy got blown up. Hold on. Do we just discover something here? Hold up. I just totally pasted this over my thumbnail. What does this look like to you guys, huh? I'm talking about this thing. Up there in the sky. It's right there. I mean, we're seeing it from a profile angle. It could just be a random ship. It doesn't make sense if it's the Razor Crest, but...
You sit on the throne of your former
Slave 2? Oh, God. Slave 2, the ugliest ship in canon? That's... I'm looking at the language, the script on the back of Jabba's throne. It is not an Orobesh, and it is not in Mandowa. I don't exactly... Actually, it probably is Mandowa. You know what? We could translate. We could translate this baby right now. Let's do it. Let's do it. Those are definitely Rancors on the armrests. We've got Muchi on the left, and we've got Patissa on the right. Huttese? I don't think it's Huttese, dude. I think that Boba had this chair made, because think about it. Jabba couldn't fit in that. No Hutt could fit in that chair. That's a human chair. So I think Boba had this made, and that's totally Mandowa on the bottom. So I am going to pull up a translation chart for Mandowa right now. You know what? It would be quicker to do it this way. Yeah, we need something like this. Okay. Alright, how do I... Shit, but I'm on a stream though, so I can only have too many things on my screen. I'll use the iPad, no worries. I'm figuring this out as I go. Add photos. Cool. You're right, though. This is the chair that Bib Fortuna was sitting on, so it's very possible that... But the thing is, the character set absolutely looks like Mandowa to me. That's what's weird. Alright, let's take a look. On the first letter that I can see here, no matches. Second letter, no matches. Yeah, this is not in Mandowa. You're right. But it's not Huttese either, which makes me, well, at least it's not Orabesh, which makes me very curious as to what it could be, in fact. I'm going to have to do some research on that, but that's going to be a long and boring process, so I'm not going to do it right now.
Jabba ruled with fear.
I like the outfits. I want to know what faction these guys are from. Are they Black Sun, maybe? No, it looks more leathery. It could be a Sith language. I don't know why they would have Sith on Bib's chair. You're right, though. Boba couldn't have made that chair. Bib had to have made that chair because he was sitting in it at the time. Jabber. Jabber ruled with fear. Ooh, yeah, you're right, Legend. Zerka Corporation. We know that they're loving to give us the KOTOR references with the Krayt Dragon and the Krayt Dragon Pearl in Mandalorian. What if we got Zerka Corporation up in here with the red shields later on in the trailer too? That's kind of the technology that I was thinking. You think that guy looks like Lin-Manuel Miranda? Maybe the other one. Oh, that guy totally does.
I intend to rule with respect.
I intend to rule with respect. So, they have done a lot of transforming with Boba's character since he has arrived in Mandalorian Season 2. I don't know if everybody noticed this. So, when he repainted his armor, the check marks along the top of the helmet. These puppies right here, they're yellow, right? The reason that these are yellow, so in Mandalorian culture, the colors have significance and things are painted certain colors to mean certain things. So the yellow stripes on here, they talk about prowess in combat, right? And revenge. So they represent kills that were done out of vengeance and displaying extreme prowess in combat. Very typical Mandalorian stuff. But he repaints his armor to red stripes. He's got red stripes on there now in the re-armored kit. And red represents lineage and honoring your parents and your legacy. Which just shows his character's shift. He is no longer about like being the toughest bad guy, killing those who wronged him, this and that, bounty hunting. Like he said it himself, he's not a bounty hunter anymore. He wants to honor his father. Like, it was so important to him to show Din Djarin his chain code and talk about how Jango was a Mandalorian and was a foundling and fought in the Mandalorian wars, like on Concord Dawn. He cares about his history now. And so, yeah, exactly. Persian dude, that's exactly what I was going to say. He had a ton of time to sit there and reflect on his life and think while he was being slowly digested in the pit of Carcoon. And so the fact that now he's like out of there, he's survived a certain death experience, and he's like, I'm about different things now. I intend to rule with respect. I believe him when he says that. And the stripes, the character shift, his actions, the way he said that, like, I am basically honor bound to help you get Grogu back, and until the child is back in your care, Din Djarin, like, I'm on your team. That's, you know, you could argue that that's a very transactional thing that the old Boba would have done as well, because he's a bounty hunter and he's like, my professional reputation's at stake. I'll get this child back for you. But that's not what it was. It was a matter of honor. And I don't want to say that they're softening his character, because he still will frickin' kill you. But his priorities are at a different place, and I respect it. But yeah, the color of Mandalorian armor always means things. You should look up the full length. There's actually quite a few Easter eggs hidden among different Mandalorian characters based on the colors that they put on their armor. Unoriginal username, hello there.
Captains under Jabba the Hutt.
Boba Fett's new groove. Okay. This is who is this? We got a single person arriving at the hut rear door here. Also, can we talk about how this is fucking accurate? Also, this is fucking accurate if you are playing Extraction in Battlefront. This is where the third phase begins. Right at this little door. You gotta get the payload down here. It was a little rockier in the thing, but basically this area is where you go down, and then you gotta fight. And then there's a GR-75 parked right here that you gotta fight to, and the Empire spawn is like right here. That's awesome. See, this is just like it's. Back in 2015, they dropped that map on us, and it's still holding up to scrutiny because, you know, a location's a location. I love it. We've been to Tatooine so many times, and like Jabba's palace so many times that like we know our way around the building. The building does not exist anywhere, and it never has, but we all know the layout, and I think that's crazy.
You were all once captain.
Someone theorized that because he spent so long on Tatooine being a Sarlacc, he aged drastically despite Fennec being older. Oh, absolutely. The dude's got like digestive juices all over his face. You know, he's scarred up beyond belief. So he's gonna look like old and like... You can't pin an age on a burn victim, and I don't think you can pin an age on an acid victim. And he's kind of an acid victim now. But yeah, Fennec is totally older. She's like 10 years older than Boba, which is hilarious. The whole Obi-Wan being older due to twin sons thing, I don't know. People that need an explanation for why Obi-Wan looks that different after 19 years are clearly not old people. Y'all don't get it, all right? People age, and they age quick sometimes. Like, anyone who sees that as a problem is just clearly young to me. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you sweet summer child, it'll happen to you too. Also, Ming-Na Wen doesn't age. No, she's exempt from the whole aging conversation because she's Ming-Na Wen. She could have nice products. She could also be, like, not even human, you know? Just a human adjacent, like, looks human, but she's not. Who knows? Yeah, we also... Cap, I'm right there with you. We don't need an explanation for everything. Some things we think we need an explanation for, and then we gain a little perspective and watch it again. We're like, oh, actually, that makes sense. Or, like, you can contextualize what's happening here. But, you know... See, Sam, that's good. Keep that going. I'm 32, and people think that I'm like 45 sometimes. So we can switch. I'd be happy to switch with you. All right, here we go. These Trandoshans, this Trandoshan looks incredible. This Trandoshan looking badass in the shadows. This guy... What's going on? Kind of looks a little... inflated. Let's go back. He looks soft. He's soft. He's not hard enough for these Tatooine wastes. He's not gonna last. Oh, doing that voice reminded me. I want Bylert Valance to show up too. The middle guy looks like he's peeing. What?
You were all once captains on...
It's because he's looking right at the camera. It's like he's giving us a gym face. This is an office moment. And one Trandoshan's just like... Yeah, exactly. The mysticism of not understanding everything is important. You have to suspend disbelief for science fiction to do its job. If you need to know everything, not only is that so much information, but also it all has to make sense with all the other parts of it. And that's not how the fantasy is supposed to work. It's supposed to be kind of like, you know, little pieces here and there tethered together by like an overarching narrative. And you're like, oh, I recognize this, but you don't need the explanation. If you need the explanation, now suddenly we get into these terrifying things like logic and reason. And now why is there sound in space? And like, why is this happening? So you really have to just suspend all of that, you know? Yeah, he's totally doing a gym face here. Guy in the middle had too much tuna. He's like, oh, you put some spice on this tuna.
Under Jabba the Hutt.
Okay, so these were all Jabba's captains, which means that is Barada.
You were all once captains under Jabba the Hutt.
I'm here to make a proposal that's mutually beneficial.
I love this shot. I love this, like, upper echelon area that we never got to see. Also, here's your sneak preview of Dune Part 2 coming soon. What species is the guy who questions him? These guys? They are Aqualish.
Captains under Jabba the Hutt.
They are Trandoshan. And they are... God, what are they called? They're the dog people. They were in the original... They're the guys that pushed Luke off the skiff. And they also attacked the village in episode 4 of last season. Klatooians, thank you. Thank you. Yes, they're Klatooians. And one of them's name is Barada. And Barada is the guy from the skiff who survived the fight. I'm pretty sure it's him. And I know his name because he was in a coloring book I had when I was 7.
I'm here to make...
That guy. I'm pretty sure that is Barada right there. Ironically, the name Barada and the race name Klatooians and the race name Nikto are all references to an old 1950s movie called The Day the Earth Stood Still. And the secret code phrase that activated the giant robot man was Klaatu Barada Nikto. That phrase is also referenced in the Raimi Brothers' Army of Darkness with Bruce Campbell. It's the words in the Book of the Dead that you have to say to raise the Army of the Dead. It's Klaatu Barada Nikto. So, and this is just like evidence that George Lucas is a fan of The Day of the Earth Stood Still. As well he should be, because it's awesome. There was a remake in the 2000s with Keanu Reeves that was but the 1950s one is dope. You should watch it if you can. But yeah, because of the reference, his name is Barada, and he's a Klatooian. So, and there's also a race called Niktos in the same room.
Make a proposal that's mutually beneficial.
So, proposal that's mutually beneficial. The first time I watched this, I read this scene as him talking to other crime factions, but he's not. He's just talking to Jabba's crew. So that weakens my theory that Crimson Dawn is going to be involved, but they still could be, because what if Crimson Dawn hears about the death of Jabba, Leia the Hutt Slayer does her thing, and then Qi'ra's like, ooh, okay, it's free real estate on Tatooine. So Crimson Dawn like swoops in, expecting the place to be empty, and encounters Boba and all of the new staff, essentially. Like, what if that's the plot, though? Like, Qi'ra versus Boba, and we just get like a Tatooine gang war in the alleys of Mos Eisley? I'm so down for that. Even if that sounds like mundane to people because there's no like swinging lightsabers or crazy shit going on, I'm super down for a little like some more street level Star Wars. That's what I called Mando Season 1. Mando Season 2, it got a little bigger and it's kind of stopped being street level after a while. But yeah. Because think about it, if this whole show takes place on Tatooine and we don't like go galaxy hopping and like planet to planet, the show has so much room to breathe, and we can really see these little moments of living there that really feel immersive, and that kind of stuff is really conducive to the fantasy of being part of all this, and that's what I think that we all want when we watch it. So that's what I hope for. I hope for little moments where nothing important's going on, and we're just like looking out the window, or like seeing people milling about in a marketplace, or like a Sans Saber series. That's a really good way to put it. But yes. Padfoot Deer, why would they have waited so long to strike? We're going to have to find out in Crimson Reign, but I bet you anything they're going to be really good, really competent, win a bunch of encounters, and then like Vader's going to show up and totally hobble them at the end or something, because that's always how these things seem to go. But yeah, we're not going to know what to expect. The thing is, Crimson Reign is going to be wrapping up right as this drops. So we're going to have a lot more context and a lot more knowledge right before it drops, because we'll know exactly what Qi'ra's doing right before 6.
Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all...
I love it so much. I love it so much that we should move on before I say inappropriate things. Yes, the volume is absolutely changing the game. It's totally good. A lot of these shots... Actually, a lot of them feel like practical sets, but all the sweeping vistas, I'm sure, were volume sets. Yeah, Boba's bringing everyone together and he's partying.
Why speak of conflict?
It's so good. The knife out of the butt of the gun. Fennec has such badass moves. You know what? It'll actually help, I think, if I just set the speed to like 0.5. There we go.
When cooperation can make us
Oh god, he sounds so drunk.
all rich.
has an underworld. The Twi'leks are always sexy, and I like that we're finally getting more variety in the colors. It's like they're not all green and blue. Like, you know, one of them was yellow. Like, that's awesome. Finally. It'd be nice if we got a couple more color options in the Old Republic, because I'm a Twi'lek in the Old Republic.
Prevents us all from killing you.
That's Barada. That one's Barada. What's that look? They're like, should we kill them all now? Or do we wait a minute? Like, he obviously has, beyond just being a badass, he has like crazy leverage over these guys, and he knows it. So what's the game here, Boba? What do you got? Also, his scars are really healed. I've noticed that they've really made him a little prettier for this show. Henry Lewis, exactly. Which, now it's even more frustrating that he looks, like, older than Fennec Shand. Yeah, he's been in that Polynesian spa for a while. But no, yeah, he definitely looks, yeah, I kind of had a Shizor vibe from Barada as well because of the robes are very, like, what he wears. Aw, Sam, you got it, man. All the drinks are poisoned. Totally. And Boba Fett would be like a Dread Pirate Roberts kind of motherfucker that'd be like, I spent 10 years of my life building up an immunity to iocane powder. So I poisoned myself and it didn't work. Like, that's what he did while he was in the Sarlacc pit. He was slowly poisoning himself to build up an immunity for this conversation with a bunch of captains. Yeah, I don't know what his skin routine is, but it's great. He wasn't the main character of Mandalorian, and that's why they could make him as ugly as they wanted for like the sure... They needed to for the sheer shock factor of, like, Boba Fett is back, because that was the first time. And we needed to see, without them stopping and telling us all about the Sarlacc pit, they needed us to be able to see the Sarlacc on his face. And now that we've all gotten that story, I guess they're, like, walking it back a little bit and making him a little prettier, which is too bad, because that's, like... Unless they show him, like, vigorously healing in a bacta tank in the beginning of the series or something, it's going to be a little weird to me, honestly. a Polynesian bacta spa. Actually, fun story. Polynesian spa is in Rotorua. I've been to Rotorua. I actually grew up really close to there, but I haven't been to the spa, so I'll have to go back.
Taking what we...
I love this shot, and I want to know what's going on. It's weird to me. I don't think that Boba himself would shove a bunch of, like, credits and flan and whatever in his helmet and book it. I think someone stole his helmet. I think someone stole his helmet and was looting the place. And this looks like it's supposed to be worrying to us, like, oh no, Boba has fallen. But I think it's the opposite. I think some fucker who stole his helmet just got shot and dropped the helmet. That's what I think's going on. Yeah, no, I'll go back to the spa wearing the helmet and I'll just pretend that I am Boba. Yeah, I'm getting strong Zerka Corporation vibes from the shields and from the spear weapons. Look at this thing, guys. Who do I think should play Dengar in this series? Oh, man, what's his name? There was someone floated a fan cast on Twitter that was, like, perfect. Oh, yeah. What's his name? He plays, Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I think he should be Dengar. I think he'd be an awesome Dengar. What is Boba not? Stellan Skarsgård? Stellan Skarsgård has a little bit too much gravitas. You know what I mean? Dengar's not sophisticated. Dengar's not like... He doesn't have this, like, personality of authority where, like, holy shit, you stop talking when Dengar talks. No. Stellan Skarsgård has that in spades, and so I think that he'd be too impressive. You know what I mean? Dengar should be a little bit lame, but also you don't really want to fuck with him, and that's why I think Mike Ehrmantraut is perfect. Dengar is a pimento sandwich motherfucker. That's why I think he'd be great. Javier Bardem would also be really good, actually. Javier Bardem, I wouldn't want to waste on Dengar, though. I would want to give him, like, a creepy, like, either a crime lord or an Imperial Moff or some kind of, like, role like that.
And taking what we want.
Love the shields. And they're fighting against him, too, so they're not exactly allied with him. Oh!
If you had spoken such insolence to Jabba, he'd have fed you to his menagerie.
He's pissed, but he knows he's got nothing to say. Ooh, the Exchange. They could also be the Exchange. Hell, for that matter, that could be the Nova Blades. We don't know what any of them are up to at this timeline. Hell yes. I think there's going to be a lot more to do with Mandalore in this than we're seeing necessarily from the trailer. Hold on, let me just put my music back on here. There we go. Oh, I guess it's over. Cool. Next one. Cool. Yeah, we definitely need to have as many tie-in characters in the series as we possibly can. You know what I mean? It feels like they, goddamn it. You'll get there, Dr. Holocron. Don't give up. Type the rest of it out. I think they could bring in the Exchange or Zerka and possibly even the Generardian Assassins Guild. Oh, the General Harridan's Assassins Guild would be a really deep cut. I don't think it's likely, but wouldn't that be something though? Like honestly, I feel like something that's already been referenced somewhere deeper would be a likely choice, like Zerka or the Exchange or something like that. Javier Bardem is Exar Kun. Oh man, that would be awesome. That would be amazing. And Telchar, I agree with you. I don't want Boba to be Mandalore, and I don't think Boba is interested in being Mandalore. The only reason that he really cares about Mandalorian culture as deeply right now is because he cares deeply about his father. Because Jango cared about it, you know? Oh, Zach, it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be hard. And I'm sure the paycheck won't hurt either. Yeah, shout out to Temur Morrison, who now is about to be, like, stupid paid. Like, he's good to go. This is his heyday right now. Showing up as, he's got the Boba Fett money. He's about to have, Rex money in the Ahsoka show. He's going to have Cody money in the Kenobi show. Like, Danny DeVito as Dengar. That's a great idea. No. Take it to the bank. I'm all about it. Danny DeVito as Dengar is something that needs to happen now, whether it's like a cosplay or whatever. Besides his dad, Boba comes off like he thinks the Mandalorians are kind of a joke. I don't think he thinks they're a joke necessarily, but I think he thinks that they're like not what he's about. He's like, they're doing their... It's the way that like atheists view like devoutly religious people, I think, where it's like they're doing their thing. I'm not about it though. You know? Like I think he doesn't really care about the Mandalorian culture other than the fact that it is his one and only strong tie to his father, you know, which I think he's desperate for more of. Yeah, Dengar is just handing out dirt naps left and right. He's not a guy with a creed or a code. He just wants to get paid. You know, if you want a guy disintegrated, get me integrated. That's Dengar's motto. Oh, Dr. Holocron, can you imagine Cad Bane shows up at the end of the first episode? I have a hope that everything we saw in that trailer is from the first episode, honestly. Because, like, if the whole thing takes place on Tatooine, like I said before, I'm going to love it because it's going to be, like, a lot of breathing room. But it would be the first time a Star Wars show has done that. And I don't really expect it. So I think maybe, like, the first 2 episodes contains all of this. Like, Boba's going to show up. He's going to very quickly get run of the palace. He's going to get everybody on side. He's going to fight some Zerka guys with shields. And then episode 3 begins. And we've still got, like, 7 left. So I think a lot has been left unrevealed in this. All of Qi'ra and Crimson Dawn's involvement, Black Chrysanthemum, Ezra, Bylert Valance would be amazing. He definitely has some unfinished business with Boba Fett, as does Dengar, as does Bossk at this point. If you're in the War of the Bounty Hunters, if we do see Bossk, it would be amazing if he's all big and intimidating and imposing, and then he has like little baby legs. because his legs are still growing back. That would be really funny. I don't think that they would do that because it would be too weird for people that didn't read the comic. And I read the comic and it's a little weird for me, but I think it would be great. Yes, bearded Temur playing Rex, I think, is one of the things that I'm most looking forward to. So it has to happen. Finds Ezra passed out between some garbage cans. How many seasons reasonable for each show? I think 4 to 5 might be a lot. I think 3 to 4. Because I think that after several seasons, they're going to want to culminate it with a movie. I think it's going to somewhat follow the Marvel model of how we have Avengers 1, or like we have Captain America, Iron Man, what have you, and then Avengers 1, and then Captain America 2, Iron Man 2, blah, 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 culminating with Avengers 2, and then 3s, and so forth. And so I think originally that was going to be the plan with Rangers of the New Republic and the Ahsoka show and Mandalorian were going to all culminate with the Rogue Squadron movie. But that's no longer the case because certain people don't work for Disney anymore, and they had to change a couple things around. So instead, I think that they're going to create new like cinematic events that are like movies that kind of are a combined season finale for 3 shows at once kind of thing, if that makes sense. If they do a War of the Bounty Hunters play where all the worlds and characters collide, Emilia says she wants to play Qi'ra, and I'm sure she will. I'm sure she will. And they're going to keep it as hush as possible, but I'm sure she'll show up as Qi'ra, representing Crimson Dawn in Book of Boba Fett. And she might even be the primary antagonist. I would not be surprised. When the show comes out and she's nowhere to be found, you guys can clip this and talk about what an idiot I am. But I am sure that Qi'ra is showing up in the Book of Boba Fett. You can mark my words. Then again, I've been wrong before. Like when Boba Fett first showed up at the end of the Toro Calican episode and we heard the boot spurs, I argued with Bendu for so long. I was like, no, it's not. It's not Boba. It's not Boba. It can't be Boba. And I was wrong. Obviously, it was Boba. So Bendu, you were right. So shout out. She could be the season 1 finale stinger. I could see that happening. Yeah, Legend, you were right. And I came around and started to think that it was Boba before the episode that it was revealed to be Boba. But at my initial reaction watching it was like, who is this new character? Who is this mystery character that's being introduced? Yeah, being wrong about predictions does make it more fun because then you get to be surprised. It's like if you see something really shocking and exciting happening on the screen and all that you have is like, oh, confirmed. That's not as fun as if you're like, what? I had no idea. Like, that's a much more fun experience. And so I like being in the dark. It's hard to be in the dark when you know a lot and you've seen a lot and you've got all the context because things kind of fall into place for you and you recognize references. But at the same time, like, if you're going into it for the very first time ever, then I'm jealous because I wish that I could watch Star Wars for the first time without knowing what's around each corner because the thrills are like nothing else. They really are. Yeah, when your expectations get properly subverted, I think it was, I think that's, you know, one of the best things about being a member of the audience. Boba was in production way before when? Do you think Book of Boba Fett was pitched to replace Rangers as all of that controversy happened around the time of the initial announcements? Oh, no. Book of Boba Fett was one of the only ones that we knew about prior to the announcement of Rangers of the New Republic. Because, or no, sorry, other way around. Yeah, that's right, because they attached it to the end of the Mandalorian Season 2 episode. That's when we found out. And that was after the Disney Investors Call where they released all of those streams, right? The Investors Day presentation. But either way, Holocron's right. It was in production for way longer than that. We just didn't hear about it. Yeah, no. I don't think Emilia would turn down more of Disney's money. Are you kidding me? And now she gets the, all she needs now is a Marvel thing. She hasn't done Marvel, right? Ming-Na Wen's got all 3. She was Mulan, right? Way back in the day. And then she was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And now she's going to be in Secret War, apparently, probably that same character. And she's also got Star Wars. So, like, Fennec Shand, baby. Good job, Ming-Na Wen. Yeah, Emilia Clarke just has to do a Marvel piece now, and then she'll be in there too, you know? But, yeah, I can't wait. She's in Secret Invasion? Oh, snap. Okay, well, there you go. There you go. Temur Morrison just needs to do Marvel because he currently has DC in Star Wars because he's Aquaman's dad, you know? Think Shand will reference her fight with the Bad Batch back in the day? I think she definitely will if she runs into Omega. She comes face to face with Omega, which would be cool. Who would I cast Tem as in Marvel? Oh, man, I don't know enough Marvel stuff. I'm sure there's like a perfect role for him out there. I would make Tem the Submariner. Oh, Tem is Ben Grimm? Actually? Like from Fantastic Four, yeah? No, I'm thinking of Namor. Yeah, that would work too. I don't know. What about Temwera as... Yeah, no, actually, honestly, I can't think of anything better than Ben Grimm. That might actually be his calling. It's clobbering time. Oh, man. I think my favorite Temwera role before he did Star Wars, besides being Dr. Rapata in Shortland Street, was he was the dog person in the Island of Dr. Moreau movie that they made in like the early 2000s, late 90s. Yeah, he was the guy that was mixed with the dog. It was creepy. I loved it. The Native American guy from the 80s X-Men. I don't remember that guy. I didn't watch the 80s X-Men, though. I don't know a whole lot of X-Force, X-Men, Warpath. That could be right. Wait, no way. Was that really Marlon Brando's last film, The Island of Dr. Moreau? Hold on. I am going to sneeze. There's another one. Whew, excuse me. Thank you. You know what? I want to watch it again. Because why not? I'm actually going to turn it up just a little bit, though, this time. So y'all can hear it. In my family, we always say Gesundheit, which means good health. Yeah, the red stripes. Also, I love the way Lucasfilm is in the green, like rusty, like it's his armor. Like it's totally his armor pattern. Yeah. Say what you will about Disney Star Wars, the typography has been on point nonstop. Excellent graphic design. I love that. That's so cool.
I know that you sit on the throne of your former employer.
Jabba ruled with fear.
Yeah, his skin looks amazing
Intend to rule
for
with
what he's been through.
respect.
Oh, wait, you know what I just realized? I didn't switch over the thing. You guys can't see this. I'm a fool. Sorry, guys. Let's do it one more time. Yeah, the Omar looks amazing.
I am not a bounty hunter.
I've heard otherwise.
Yeah, this is what I was talking. I'm sorry, I forgot to switch screens. You guys couldn't see this, but this is what I was talking about. Was the way that the armor is all rusty and green. That's the texture that they've put on the Lucasfilm logo. Like, it's so cool. It's so stylish that they've done that.
I know that you sit on the throne of your former employer.
Also, it's worth pointing out that all of this is writing. All of this on the walls is text. So I'm going to spend some time and try and translate some of this if I can figure out what language set it is as well.
On the throne of your former employer.
And also, I really want to know if this is Mos Eisley and this is just what crazy heights it's grown to, or if this is something else entirely. I really want it to be a new city on Tatooine that we haven't seen before. It's easily the largest that we've ever seen. I need to know where this is.
Jabba ruled with fear.
This fight is taking place in the same place that the Ithorian was sitting in. Same walls.
I intend to rule with respect.
You were all once captains
Extraction stage.
under Jabba the Hutt.
I'm here to make a proposal that's mutually beneficial.
Wait a second. Let me see that
You
table.
were all once captains under Jabba.
They're done eating. So they're here to have a really tense political, like, struggle-based conversation. But they sat there and had their meal first. They're like, this tip-yip's pretty good. Oh, yeah, what's the recipe? Blah, blah, blah. Now, anyway, I know you all were captains for Jabba. Like,
I'm here to make a proposal that's mutually beneficial.
this all feels very first episode. All of it.
Why speak of conflict when
Here's a
make
thought.
a proposal that's mutually beneficial?
Every
Why?
galaxy. Those aren't Tuskens. Or at least not all of them. I bet you this is a sequence from Boba's time integrated with the Tusken Raiders. So this is our first clue that we might get a flashback. Legend, I think it's about time you jumped on in the cult and joined our guild with the bounty hunter, no less. But I feel like one of these four is Boba. He's either this one, this one, this one. Probably this guy because he just looks like more of a badass and he's the only one with a rifle. So I feel like this is Boba Fett right here. What if we get... Oh, wow. What if we actually see moments from the events of the Marshal from Boba's perspective? Because we know that he was hanging out in that group the whole time that Din Djarin and Cobb Vanth showed up, you know? What if we see him watching Boba and Cobb? Like, that would be cool. But this, to me, hints that maybe we're going to get some early post-Sarlacc moments with him at the very least.
Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich?
What prevents us all from killing?
All right, well, the Slave One flying implies that he goes somewhere. So we might be leaving Tatooine after all.
And taking what we want.
Hell yes. No idea how excited I am to see like red energy shields like this in live action. Like, this is such a gaming and animation thing. And here we are. I'm still betting on Zerka Corp. Mostly because I want it to be Zerka Corp, but Lego Jewels, exactly. Cobb Vanth style flashbacks. Now, the Star Wars TV has introduced the flashback format in that way, like with what they did with that. So now we could totally do it. Oh, the score. That was Brando's last film, was the score? Okay. All right. I was about to say, if it was Island of Dr Moreau, whoa. But yeah, I'm loving these energy shields. Also, is kind of giving me a throwback to the new guard on Mandalore. Remember, they used energy shields as well. And if they're introducing this concept to the viewer early in the show, maybe that's because later we'll be going to Mandalore and fighting with some blue energy shields in Sundari. How cool would that be? Oh god, that guy's super dead.
If you had spoken such insolence to Jabba, he'd have fed you to his menagerie.
Please. Speak freely.
December 29th. So basically next year. I called this my most anticipated. Hey, look, there's my reaction. That's funny. Oh, good. I got 1,000 views. We're doing good. We're performing well. Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. I know Boba. If Boba, I wonder if he will supply some info to Bo-Katan about what the Empire is doing to Mandalore. I think it'll be the other way around, because I don't think Boba knows anything. Boba, because I'm assuming that what happens to Mandalore took place after Return of the Jedi. Anything that's happened after Boba went into the Sarlacc pit, he's not going to know about. Unless the Tuskens are really informed on current affairs, and I really don't think that they are. You know, not to be racist, I don't think that the Tuskens even know what's going on outside of Tatooine ever. So, yeah, Jabba's pets just called him. Well, Menagerie to me makes me wonder if he has more than Rancors. You know, how sick would it be if he had like an Acklay down there and we got a live action Acklay again, or like a Nexu. Even a Bull Rancor or a Dathomiri Rancor, like mix it up a little bit. How cool would that be? Cap, thank you so much for joining, man. Gonks to you as well. And you're actually not taking off that early because this is pretty much what I got for the stream. Oh my goodness. Super excited for this. Book of Boba Fett can't get here soon enough. And thank you for hanging out with me, everybody. This has been a lot of fun. Reactions are dropping once a week on the YouTube channel. But I will say this. Oh, it's your birthday today? Happy birthday, my dude. Awesome. Those of you who don't know, Dr. Holocron is one of my only Twitch mods. And he works tirelessly to keep the streams nice and wholesome. So everybody say happy birthday to him. I think Boba has a great relation with the Sand People. The fact that he was able to integrate into their culture like that shows that he has like mutual respect for these people, because that's the only way they would have played ball, you know? Yes. Happy birthday. Zum Geburtstag viel Glück. I think so. The news is Bendu moved, right? He's literally over 2,000 miles away from me. So we are already in talks to figure out how to do like a remote reaction. I know that a lot of bigger channels like the Normies and Blindwave did remote reactions during the early stages of quarantine when everyone had to be far apart. I know the Normies did a legit remote reaction where people were in a separate building. But if we can figure out the logistics of how to film that, I really want to have Bendu, maybe not next to me, but like right here on the screen at least. So like our reactions, we'll probably like have like a Discord phone call back and forth, and we'll just both tape ourselves watching it or something like that. Lego Jules, that's a pretty safe bet, you know? Katie Sackhoff would absolutely be retweeting the heck out of it. Although, maybe she just lives on the West Coast and she slept in this morning. It is the morning after Halloween, you know? Like, gotta give us West Coasters a break. Like, I woke up at 7 a.m. this morning, and I had literally over 24 messages being like, react to it, react to it! And I was like, huh? Who am I? What's my name? Like, my brain does not turn on at the same time that I wake up. It's an elongated process. Legend, absolutely we're going to play some Battlefront later. Probably stream it too, why not? Gonna be fighting in Jabba's palace. Boba-ing it up. I can't wait. Yeah, Sam, he's got a gaffy stick, but more importantly, he knows how to use it. You know what I mean? Like, I really respect the Mandalorian for actually breaking helmets. Both the armorer did it and the gaffy stick did it too. But we hadn't really seen that before. Anything hitting them hard enough to actually shatter that armor. So that's really cool. It either means that the armorer and Boba are just stronger than everyone else in the galaxy, or maybe at this point, post-war, materials are degraded so much that the plastoid armor is not even that strong anymore. That's possible, you know? Would the Empire really cut corners so badly that they would choose a plastoid compound that degrades? My God, that's evil. But evil is the Empire, so it's on brand. Yeah, exactly. He knows how to use it. Goes and like carefully brushes Amantha's teeth. Like, see, show that. Awesome. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned. If another teaser or trailer comes out, I will react to it immediately on the YouTube channel. I'm going to try and get together with Bendu to do a Q&A live here some point this month, well before Book of Boba Fett, and we can answer all your questions about remote reactions and stuff, because hopefully we'll have a plan by then. Awesome. Yeah, Zach, I'll be on at Legend. I will ping you on the Discord. It'll be a couple hours from now, and we'll get it going. Hell yeah. And anyone else that wants to play Battlefront with us, we play via Origin on PC. There's a link right here on the Twitch page to my Discord channel. That's where we coordinate all of our multiplayer stuff, and we use the voice chat. So feel free to join us. It'd be great to have you. Thanks for watching, everybody. And as always, may the Force be with you.